Now it's time for America's Talking, and we're going to take a look at what's going on in Washington state. The bill there would let an unelected state board effectively remove an elected sheriff from office, and that was passed by the House of Representatives in Washington state in the wee hours of Friday. The Center Square's Carleen Johnson reports for nearly 8 hours, Republicans offered dozens of amendments to the measure, which were rejected by the majority party Democrats ahead of final passage just before 1:30 in the morning Washington time. 4 Democrats joined every Republican in opposing the bill, 54-42. Democratic Washington State Representative Roger Goodman, he talked about why he thinks the bill is good.
This bill will build confidence and community trust between community and law enforcement, especially our law enforcement leaders. Our law enforcement leaders should be subject to the same eligibility, requirements, qualifications, and accountability measures as those who work for them, or maybe even greater, a higher bar. This bill provides that the core duty of the sheriff is to uphold the U.S. Constitution, uphold and enforce the state Constitution, and enforce the laws duly enacted by this legislature.
Went on to say that they also need to enforce the laws that the Washington Supreme Court upholds. But the bill would also raise the minimum age of sheriff candidates from 18 to 25. It would require at least 5 years of full-time law enforcement experience and mandate background checks and certification from the Criminal Justice Training Commission. That commission would revoke certification for misconduct, leading to elected sheriffs being removed from office in Washington state. Carleen Johnson also reporting at the Center Square that opponents came out hard against the measure, arguing that it strips voters of their right to elect a sheriff of their choice. Pierce County Sheriff Keith Swank, he told the Center Square he thinks the measure is all about control.
My big concern is it takes away the right of the people to elect their sheriff. This is a weapon used by the Democrats to be able to control the sheriffs. Democrats control, as you know, the state House, the state Senate. Every statewide elected official is a Democrat. They control every single thing here in the state except for sheriffs. And now with the passage of this bill, they believe they'll be able to control sheriffs. They'll be able to decertify them, remove them from office, appoint the people they want to have in those positions, and then they have complete control over everybody.
During floor debates, Johnson reports Republicans referred to the bill as the, quote, get rid of Keith Swank bill, arguing Democrats were using legislation to remove a sheriff who has wide support from the majority of his constituents. Kitsap County Sheriff candidate Rick Coos, he said the issue is worth fighting for.
This is the thing for me that kind of like, what is the hill you'll die on? What is something that you'll fight with everything you have for? And having studied the Constitution, both the U.S. and the state Constitution, and realizing that I took an oath, in the military and then as a deputy sheriff to our state and federal Constitution, like this is it. To me, it's clear in writing that this is what I will stand up and fight for.
Meanwhile, in other law enforcement news, Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes, he says that any police officer who violates that city's new policy requiring documentation of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement actions, including video recording, will be subject to disciplinary screenings. The Center Square's Randy Diamond reports Barnes said that he would offer an officer the chance to talk with him before making a final decision on any permanent discipline. Barnes has the power to fire police officers in Seattle. For the latest on what's happening in Washington state, be sure to get the newsletter in your inbox at thecentersquare.com and find Washington in Focus daily here with the Center Square.